I don't like pie. I've never liked pie. I don't know what's wrong with me. Clearly, I'm just like a terrible human being. But what I do love is apple crisp, and it's our family tradition to make it for Thanksgiving and basically every holiday, starting in November. So that's what we're making today, and I can guarantee you it'll be the best apple crisp ever. Okay, first things first, let's talk apples. So I'm using 2 different kinds of apples today. I have Granny Smith apples, which are these green ones, which are a little bit more tart. And then I have Fuji apples, and these are just because they're my dad's favorite. Anyways, we're just gonna peel all of these to start. And I'm making this in a skillet, so I like to, in order to assemble it, you wanna make sure you have enough apples. So I just like to place it right in the skillet when I'm done peeling it. And then whatever vessel you're using to bake this, it should be full of apples before we start cutting them up. All right, so now that all of our apples are peeled, we're just going to quarter them. So just cut it in half from top to bottom, and then place it on its side and cut it in half again. And then we're just gonna put this on an angle, and our knife's just gonna take out the core. And this part we're just gonna toss, we don't need that. We're gonna take this quarter of an apple and just slice it up. And then we're gonna pile all of our slices into this skillet. So we'll just throw these right in here, and then repeat that for all the apples. All of our apples are prepped, and we want them kind of piling up in the pan because when they bake, they're gonna bake down a little bit. And then on top of that, we're gonna sprinkle some cinnamon. So now we have to make the most important part of an apple crisp, the crisp. So we'll move this over to the side. We're gonna grab a bowl. We'll get to this little thing in a second. First thing we're gonna do, we need some oats. So we're just gonna grab 3/4 cups of old-fashioned oats. Then we need a cup of just regular all-purpose flour. You could also use gluten-free flour, no big deal. Just even that out a bit. That goes right in there. And then the last part is some brown sugar. Just scoop that into there. And then to bind this all together, we're just gonna take some butter. And like this fancy pastry thing that you can buy at the store, it's like, it gets messy, things get stuck in it. There's no better tools than your hands. So we're just gonna kind of smash up the butter into the mixture. Okay, so just take your fingers, and then you wanna crumble it up till it's like a sand consistency. So just rub the butter between your fingers, get the oats and the brown sugar and the flour evenly combined. And you wanna make sure the butter is really evenly incorporated, because this is just gonna get piled on top of the apples, and then it's gonna melt into the apples, so you want it to have an even distribution. All right, just get most of that off your hands. And then, literally, we're gonna go from here to here. So we're gonna pick up a little clump and go right in the middle, kind of distribute it all around. You want it to cover most of the apples. We can leave a little bit showing on the ends for Instagram purposes, but mostly covered up. And then this right into the oven. Okay, so that bakes for about 45 to 60 minutes. Now it's time to eat. Ooh, look at those bubbles. That is just the butter doing its job. So this is done, but the final touch is ice cream. McConnell's is my favorite vanilla ice cream of all time. It's vanilla bean, it's from Santa Barbara. I'm a California girl, it makes sense. And my favorite thing to do with apple crisp is to put the ice cream on it right when it comes out of the oven. That way it kind of melts a little bit. Okay, so we're just gonna scoop out a couple scoops of ice cream that go right on top of the crisp, and these are just gonna melt. I mean, look, you can see the vanilla bean specks in the ice cream. That's why it's my favorite. Okay, so you just need a full scoop of ice cream and a giant scoop of apple crisp. Look at that. I mean, look at this crispy part on top. It's everything. And so every spoonful, you need a little bit of crisp, a little bit of apples, and a little bit of melted ice cream. Cheers. It's the best thing in the whole wide world.